all we're doing. Nothing else. Bless you.
Thank you.
Oh, is it like kind of a autobiography?
Yeah, kind of. It's like a fictionalized version of it or whatever. Like,
All right, we are live on YouTube.
Woo, Eternal.
Eternals. Everyone's favorite Marvel movie.
All right, let me record on here. All right. Oh, apathy. That is what the name of the game is here today, folks.
Not for Dex.
Yeah, not for Dex.
I'm very excited about this, but like not all that excited, just kind of excited.
just a little stitious. All right, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the One Take Podcast, episode 89. This week we are finally, after it's been out for a couple weeks now, doing the Eternals review, the one that everyone kind of want. I guess people were asking actually us to do this movie, but we got it. To peel the curtain back, we do every single Marvel project usually that comes on airwaves normally, because that's just because we're Disney shills, folks.
Sponsor the pod, Disney Plus. Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
Disney, please. We're doing your work. We're doing your bidding, please.
The mouse has us by the balls.
Except for when it comes to animated series.
Yeah.
Me and Royden didn't watch one.
Yeah, we haven't watched What If. Like, don't sue us.
There's going to be a standalone episode of me watching X-Men 97 by myself, talking to the people alone. That's going to happen.
Just a full 3-hour commentary, like while you're watching it.
Yeah, the animated shows might be my limit when it comes to my MCU attention span. I'm down for just about anything they put out in the theater, any live action TV show, animated series. I don't know.
I'm
Not
in on all the
MCU,
Disney
but-
content. Give it all to me. Feed it to me through a straw. I don't care what it is. I'm going to consume it. I'm going to ingest it, and I'm probably going to like it. I'm up to speed on all my canon, so I got y'all. I won't let y'all down on the animated series. So
It wasn't even MCU, but you did go and see what was the movie that was delayed for like 1,000 years that was sold? It's actually a Disney product now after Fox sold.
Which one?
Dark Phoenix.
No, well, Dark Phoenix,
No,
but also
no,
the one about the kids in the hospital, the X-Men kids in the hospital.
Oh, the New Mutants. Yeah.
New Mutants. You went and saw New Mutants. Like when nothing else was in the
Night one.
theater. Yeah, you were
middle
like,
of the
I'm in there.
pandemic, Thursday
I
night
have not
showing
seen
of
New Mutants, and I have not seen Dark Phoenix. It does not go that deep. I can't do it.
I didn't see the last
in theaters.
I've also never seen either Venom movies because I can't do it. I just can't.
Saw both of
I
those in
refuse.
theaters.
Yeah, so we're in there, but you know what's funny? Venom 2 in there. What if?
I got through 2 weeks and I was like, fell behind and it just never cared to catch back.
That's because the first What If episode is pretty boring, but it's also the worst of the series. They really should have changed the order of that, but I understand why they did it. But it was awesome at the end. You gotta watch What If. It's going to be canon, bros. It's going to be canon.
I heard Chadwick Boseman and I was like, oh, this is so dope. And then I missed that next week and I was like, yeah, whatever.
You know what? I'll say this. That being canon is very stupid. Don't put canon stuff in an animated Flash series like that you watch on YouTube. Like, I'm not doing that.
If they didn't tell me that it was canon, I don't know if I would have tuned in for What If, but as soon as they told me it was canon, I was just like a dog. I just was slobbering everywhere for the content. I just needed it. I had to have it.
Speaking of having to have the content, Eternals. What we're talking about today.
What we're actually, this is how much we want to talk about this movie. Eternals, new MCU movie following Shang-Chi, which is actually on Disney Plus, by the way. Now, if you haven't actually seen Shang-Chi,
go back and watch that.
I'm about to go back and watch that probably tonight.
That
But
is amazing.
Eternals, the newest MCU project. After like 2 years of not having MCU movies in theaters, we had 3 in a year, and I think it pushed its limit with this.
We're about to do a 4th, so I hope you don't mean that.
Oh my God, Eternals. Oh yeah, well, Spider-Man's fine. Eternals 2021, PG-13. Pushing the limits of MCU PG-13, by the way. Like most, MCU PG-13 is for like violence, and someone says shit. This
Sometimes
is like
there was some sex.
there's like a sex scene in this. Yeah, it was interesting.
I have no idea how they made Gemma Chan and Richard Madden have an unsexy sex scene, but they pulled it off.
They had the most like PG like Disney-fied sex scene that you'd have ever seen in your entire life.
Sex in a BYU dorm room.
Yeah, they were just sitting. They were just laying there. They were soaking.
They were soaking, and they needed a jump soaker.
Okay, this has speaking of, this has a 6.9 on IMDb.
Nice.
The saga of the Eternals, a race of immortal beings who lived on Earth and shaped its history and civilizations. Written and directed by Academy Award winner Chloe Zhao. Written also by Patrick Burleigh and Ryan Furpo.
Are they immortal if they can die? Spoiler alert. Sorry if you
I guess
haven't seen the shit, but
I guess they're immortal. As speaking of, by the way, this is like a 3-week late review. If you haven't seen Eternals by now, which I'm assuming everyone has because it's made a good bit of money. Spoiler alert. This entire thing is spoiler alert. To answer your question, I don't know because like they don't age. Maybe that's what it is. It's just like if somebody doesn't shoot them in the face, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
So
As long as the planet they're like on doesn't get eaten by the celestial or whatever, then they could just keep going.
yeah. Has a 52% Metascore on Metacritic. Stars Gemma Chan, Richard Madden, Angelina Jolie, Selma Hayek, Kit Harington, Kumail Nanjiani, Brian Tyree Henry, Leah McHugh, I think, as Sprite, Lauren Ridloff, the first deaf MCU character, and Barry, I'm never going to pronounce this right, Barry Keegan, and Ma Dong-seok as Gilgamesh. Bill Skarsgård also makes an appearance. Guess who?
Barry Keegan is amazing. I'm joining his hive officially. I was going to make that a segment on this pod of how I'm joining his hive for the long term. I'm buying that stock now.
My thing about Barry Keoghan is, I think it's probably Keoghan. Barry Keoghan is, he looks like 13 other actors that are all like the same age. He looks like the dude from Ready Player One. Like he looks the exact same as that guy. And so I always get them confused. So there's like 15 dudes that all kind of look like this guy, but he started to kind of separate himself. He was in Dunkirk as well, I think.
He was in the God, I'm forgetting the name of both these movies he was in that I just saw recently.
He was in American Animals, The Killing of the Sacred Deer.
The Killing of a Sacred Deer is when I first saw him. He's great in that. He's also
he's going to be in the Batman.
Yeah,
he's in the Batman. He's
Green
in
Knight.
He did that show, The End of the Fucking World. He's just awesome.
He
is in the Green Knight. That's right. He was the only good part in the Green Knight. The rest of it is awful.
Also, spoiler alert, we'll get to it later, but Harry Styles makes an appearance.
Fuck Harry Styles. Oh my God.
I'm assuming y'all knew who Harry Styles was when he popped up on screen.
No, not at all.
I did not. I
didn't know who his character is.
I didn't know who his character was. I knew who Harry Styles was.
Yeah.
Yes, what? What?
When I saw the scene, it's just a regular white man who walked onto the screen.
You didn't know who Harry Styles. You didn't know who one of the most famous people in the world was. T.
He's not one of the most famous.
I know the
yes,
name.
He is. What are you talking about? He is one of the most famous people
Harry
in the world.
Styles, but I didn't know what Harry Styles looked like. So when he walked on screen, I didn't think Harry Styles. But everybody in the theater around me started making noise, and I was like, they must know who the character is. I didn't know they were doing that because they knew who Harry Styles was, because I didn't know Harry Styles was that person on screen.
I tell you, my wife freaked out. So that's like,
I also
that's where we're
at,
at,
but not in a positive way.
Why do you hate Harry Styles?
Dex, he is one of the most famous people in the world, whether you want him to be or not. He is.
Maybe in like 2012.
No, maybe like
right
right now, he is one of the most famous people in the world.
Do you have beef with Harry Styles? What's your beef with him? I don't know anything about him.
I don't have a beef with like Harry Styles as a person. I just have a beef with Harry Styles being pushed on me. Like in every
That's 1,000 famous people. They've been doing that with Chris Pratt for a decade.
He's an industry plant? Is that
he's an industry plant? There's no other way. There's no other fucking way. Like, okay, Chris Pratt, yeah, he's being pushed on me. Sure. But like,
he's being pushed on you a lot. Very much.
But like, everyone can agree that we hate Chris Pratt being pushed on us.
That's
James
true. That's
Corden
true.
also being pushed on us. Everyone agrees that we hate that. But Harry Styles, we're supposed to be like, oh my God, it's Harry Styles. Oh, he's so brave, so adventurous. Like, oh my
Wait,
God.
I thought white people liked James Corden. I thought that was the whole point.
There's a petition that has like 100,000 signatures to keep him out of, I think it's
Wicked.
Wicked. Yeah.
Wicked.
I was going to say Rip, but
yes, I need to sign that. No offense to James Corden, but I
Yeah.
love Wicked. I do not want him in anywhere near it. Sorry.
James Corden is the guy that gets put in like every musical adaptation ever. So all the theater people are like, get this man the fuck away from us.
he has a great agent. I'll say that. Whoever his agent is working overtime.
But yeah, Harry
Keep him away
Styles, he
from
just
Wicked.
keeps popping up and shit. And he's like just on all these magazine covers and whatever. And he keeps getting all these movies, like these big movie gigs, despite never really being in anything like of note. Other like he was in Dunkirk, but it wasn't like people were watching Dunkirk, like, oh my God, Harry Styles, he's got it. Like he's next, put him in everything. Like he's fine. Just stop putting
Maybe
him
they were
everywhere.
thinking that.
They should.
I think he's just a charismatic, good-looking white guy,
I don't care.
which are hard to come by, guys. By the way,
Underrepresented.
in Hollywood, good-looking white people to play superheroes, underrepresented.
Yeah.
I did not know that was Harry Styles, but I realized quickly that's somebody I should have known because everybody else had the same reaction. Like, if
Well,
I
I'll tell
would
you
have-
what. He is in our girls. He is the co-star with our girl in Don't Worry, Darling. So is Gemma Chan, actually.
See,
So
this
Harry
is
Styles
why-
like acts like this is not just like an MCU thing. He acts.
apparently he's like got next, and he's going to be in Don't Worry, Darling. He's going to be in some other like Oscar baity movie the year after that. Now
What if he's
gonna
good?
be in the MCU? Maybe he is good. Let me find that out slowly. Don't put him in
Okay,
everything
that's fair,
that I
that's fair.
enjoy
That's fair.
immediately.
Well, he's doing. He's basically doing his best. Oh, forgive me. He just recently passed a few years ago. Who's a singer? Oh my God. Who used to? I mean, he recently. I was gonna say Prince. It's not Prince, but it's. Why am I? People are gonna shoot me in the fucking
We
face.
were not gonna let you compare Harry Styles to Prince on this podcast.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, I don't even know where you're going because you haven't said anything. He's just a singer
who's the singer who like would cross dress and stuff like that? Ziggy Stardust.
Fucking David Bowie.
David Bowie. Good Lord. Yeah, sorry to one of the most creative people and talented people of all time. Jesus Christ, I just had the worst brain fart. That was the worst. That sucked. Like he's doing his best David Bowie impression. And
I guess so.
yeah, he's following that playbook to a T. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have a problem with him.
I'm tired of the Harry Styles agenda. Is what I'll say.
Is he the one that sings "Shape of You"? Is that him?
No, that's Ed.
That's
Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran.
Oh, well. See, I literally don't know who Harry Styles is.
I can't think of a
Significantly-
song you would know from him.
Significantly,
Doesn't he do the
Watermelon
oh no, he does
Yeah.
the watermelon sugar thing.
Yeah.
I've heard this song.
Watermelon Sugar. That's him.
Okay, got it.
I'm shocked. This is shocking to me that you don't know who this is.
I did not. I knew the name Harry Styles. I know he was in a group called One Direction, but I didn't know what he looked like. I didn't know what he looked
And
like.
I loved One Direction, so it's weird that I'm not like all aboard the Harry
Then
Styles train.
this is your guy.
but-
You should be riding with him. Why are you?
Nah, fuck him. I'm
Nope.
get outta here.
Oh my God. All right. Anyway, we'll talk about that way later in the podcast, what his role is going forward. By the way, somebody just like leaked that on Twitter, like that he was in this movie like 3 days in advance. They leaked
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I missed that.
I somehow got it. I got it spoiled for me. But this movie it's made decent money so far. It's not making what Shang-Chi was making, and even then Shang-Chi wasn't released in China. But it's made 281 million worldwide. No idea on what the budget of this movie cost, but you got to assume that these movies are like $200 million each at this point. You know what I mean? Which is not for nothing. We can talk about, Chloe Zhao at this point, but Chloe Zhao had to have made Nomadland for like $1,000. Like, and so all of a sudden she's handed this movie or this behemoth. And I'm glad that the MCU is finally taking risks on more creative directors after Taika. Like they fumbled the Edgar Wright bag, like they did that whole thing. So, I'm glad that they're doing that and giving these creatives control. But it's just like, if you haven't seen Nomadland, by the way, I think it's like on Hulu. It won the Oscar for Best Picture. She won for Best Director. Don't watch
it. No, she didn't win Best. They didn't win Best Picture.
Did it not win Best Picture? What won Best Picture?
No, she did win Best Picture.
It did win Best Picture.
I thought she won Best Director, but it didn't win Best Picture.
No, it won Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actress.
Well, not good.
But it literally is like one actress, Frances McDormand, and like just normal people.
Normal people who work at Amazon or live in the woods.
Yeah, and there's like no CGI. It's just like her in a camera. And it's beautiful. And this movie, you could see some of that stuff with this. And we'll get into a review. Sorry, I'm just kind of going off, but like, I'm thinking, did Chloe Zhao like know what she was getting into with this? Because it looks fine, it looks great, but it's just like, holy shit, what a leap!
I don't come to my MCU, no disrespect to Ms. Zhao, to see beautiful, gorgeous landscapes. And all you see in this movie are beautiful, gorgeous landscapes with CGI splattered on top of it. And that just isn't very good filmmaking. And this movie is not very good.
So this movie, much maligned by critics, has a 47% on Rotten Tomatoes. 80%. No, well, yeah, we'll get to it.
It's nowhere near as bad as that. I agree. I was expecting Thor: Dark World or something. It is not that bad.
It's not, and it's a 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. I saw somebody like say that that may be a fault of Rotten Tomatoes algorithm, how they rank movies, where it's a 3 out of 5 is good, but a 2 out of 5 is bad. But like the average score, I think, on this is like 1.5 to 2 stars out of 5. Like people really didn't like it. Critics really didn't like it. So, and is that also a fault of MCU Guzzlers.com getting like reviewed, like being able to review on Rotten Tomatoes? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But
people are right. So, it's fine.
Yeah. But it has an 80% audience score. Let's see what the review says.
Oh, wow. That's a pretty big gap between those two things.
Yeah.
I know how 80%.
Critics' consensus, an ambitious superhero epic that soars as often as it strains. Eternal takes the MCU in intriguing and occasionally confounding new directions. That's not a bad review, though. Like a consensus overall. It was basically, I think people just got bored.
It is a little boring and it's long as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's like the biggest criticism of this movie is that it's really long.
But they tried, they had so much to do. I mean, I don't know how they could have made it shorter. There's so much going on.
Yeah. We can get into runtime and everything. 2 hours, 36 minutes. We'll say this. We, subtracted points and we all hated the Justice League, the original theatrical run, and kind of the Zack Snyder version. But like for them putting all of this team up in one movie and not establishing any characters. So we look to call it fair. Same thing happened in this movie.
Yeah, this movie is basically what if the original Justice League movie was made by someone who's good at directing movies instead of by people who are mediocre at directing movies. Because they had 2 mediocre directors like just slam a movie together and like called it the Justice League. But this one is made by one just actually good director.
Right. Tej, all right. We've talked in the periphery and around this movie the entire time. Give it your full God's honest truth review and letter grade. Go ahead.
I will start with the letter grade in my God's honest truth and then explain how I got there. My letter grade is a B-, but I saw it twice. The first time I saw it, I was sitting at around a C, maybe a C-. So I do think that the movie kind of rewards a second viewing because I got to watch it and not have to worry about piecing together what's happening in my brain. I just got to watch it because I already knew the plot. that was really rewarding for me and made the movie better, because the first time I felt so hunkered down in all the details and all the information that it's like I got to do that and try to enjoy this movie at the same time. And there's lots of process. It's not a movie that's like, it's not like I don't get it, like I don't understand the movie, but it's just like you're processing a lot of information, and the way that the movie is set up, they're going to present day, they're going back in time as a certain event becomes relevant to the current timeline. They'll jump back in the past to show you how that event happened or what happened back then. So it's always, you kind of always
a certain type of intelligence needed to view the Eternals.
It's like a kind of a jarring ride, because you're ripped back to the public, and all of a sudden you're like in like ancient times, and it's just like a kind of, anyway. I think the movie had a lot to do, and I will give them credit for trying to do something that is not hard. The movies that we all like on the MCU, or some of the movies we all like on the MCU, are the fact that they make a ground level hero. They introduce the ground level hero. It's very easy to build the world around them because the world is very small. So Spider-Man is in New York City, and he's a college kid or a high school kid, and he's kind of awkward, and he's got to figure out what's going on in this little bubble, period. You understand it immediately. It kind of explains itself. The Eternals is something completely different. You have to kind of introduce every character on every beat and every part of this, because all of this is new to us, especially because most of the people that watch the MCU haven't seen the comics, so haven't read the comics. So
like very few. I would have to imagine the average person, like no one knew what these were. I don't think anybody who hadn't read the comic, no one knew. I didn't know what this was. I've seen superhero movies since forever.
The comic nerds were like, yeah, I've heard of the Eternals, but they weren't something I read. So even it's a deep cut even for the comic book nerds. So they had a lot to explain here. And you're introducing 10 characters, well, 10 plus characters at a time. And so it's a really weird kind of, whose movie is it? I feel like what makes the movie weird is it's like 3 or 4 movies mixed in one. And Kumail Nanjiani, the movie that he's doing, which is hilarious, is like just not the same movie as Angelina Jolie is doing. So either Angelina Jolie is doing her movie or Kumail Nanjiani is doing his movie, but it never feels like it all comes together.
Kumail's in an MCU movie. He got it.
Yes, he's in an MCU movie. Angelina Jolie was literally in a DC movie. Like she was quite literally doing a DC movie in this film.
Facts.
And it's just, there's a lot of that tension. There's so many famous people on screen, and everybody's beautiful, and the landscapes are gorgeous. And there's laughs sometimes, and there's
goddamn everyone is hot in this movie. Everyone is so good looking.
It's a really good looking cast, and so you're just trying to piece it all together. And at the end, it's just kind of a clunky mess. There's a lot of the stuff that doesn't make sense, especially in trying to mesh this that had always been there in the background of every MCU movie we've ever watched. Trying to mesh those movies with this movie it doesn't. My brain just doesn't do it. So I enjoyed it better the second time, but it had a lot of issues, which I'm sure we'll dig into. I gave it a B- in the end.
Dex?
Yeah, so I actually gave it a B- as well, like on first watch. I haven't watched it a second time, but I feel like it's a much more positive B-, I guess. It's more like you got like an 83 and that's a B- versus Teach like giving you like a 79 and calling that a B-. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought obviously it's a little long, like any 2.5 hour movie is probably going to feel long, like especially in 2021 in a movie theater. Just I don't know, something about being in the movie theater for that long just feels heavy on you. But I actually really enjoyed like everything they tried to do. Like I said, I feel like this movie is basically what if Justice League was made by somebody who's like good at filmmaking. And like I just really enjoyed all those parts of it. But at points it felt kind of blatant. And they also just like straight up mentioned DC characters multiple times.
Superman.
Yeah,
did.
I wrote that. I think I wrote that or like leaned over to Caitlin. I was like, so like this exists in the this is canon now?
The DC universe exists in the MCU.
Yeah, Superman, Batman. I think they mentioned the Flash maybe, but like they like straight up mentioned like DC characters, and like they just had their own versions of them. Like Angelina Jolie is Wonder Woman, but like better than Gal Gadot because she's a better actress than Gal Gadot. Richard Madden is Henry
Superman.
What's his name? Brian Tyree Henry. He's Cyborg. It's just straight up the Justice League. But I felt like it was better because, it felt like it all meant something to me. Like obviously, it doesn't mean like we don't know what it means compared to like the rest of the MCU or whatever. We don't know like how much this is going to come back into play. Hopefully not that much, but I enjoyed that they kind of played around with like the value of human life, right? Like what are we doing all this for? You know, because we watch Captain America going toe to toe with Thanos, and he's like trying to save half of humanity or whatever. But this movie, they like slowed down. They're like, okay, this is like what we're doing all this for. Like the humans are worth protecting at the end of the day. This is why. And also,
which is like, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it's like in the end of this movie, it's a huge world ending event. Like,
yeah,
like they have to save the planet. It's not like, oh, we're Captain America, Winter Soldier, we're keeping everybody from being surveilled and like all this stuff. It is like, hey, by the way, if you fuck up, this planet go bye-bye.
Annihilation. Yes. Like
I don't know.
Like,
it's interesting.
It's like, speaking of Captain America, this just makes it like this was just very funny to me because it's like basically this is like the story of creation in the MCU. Like God doesn't exist. Not a thing.
No, not ever.
Stop doing that. That's dumb. Like
they also like Sprite created religions in this.
Yeah.
Like she wrote the Epic of Gilgamesh. Like,
Yeah, she was just fucking around and like made up the story of Icarus in Greek mythology.
Yeah.
Like, so I just appreciated that. I thought that was like just a cool thing to do in the MCU, something we hadn't seen before. And I thought Chloe Zhao did like a good job of like kind of breaking down and explaining that like within the confines of an MCU movie. It's hard to talk about the meaning of life like in a superhero movie, and I feel like she did that decently well. Obviously not all of it comes off. Some of the fights are kind of boring. The villain is utterly meaningless.
Well, spoiler alert, 2 villains, but we can get into that here in a second so we don't completely ruin it.
Wait, which two?
Well,
Richard
guy is the
Richard
bad
Madden.
guy.
Oh yeah, see, I thought Richard Madden, I thought that was like actually good. The like weird alien thing, I thought that was very
No,
stupid and pointless.
the also named the Deviants. That's so stupid. Those don't matter at all in this entire thing.
That part was just like really stupid. The character doesn't even get a name. I don't think. He talks for like 2 minutes and then he gets sliced in half by Angelina Jolie, which
That's
is really
Bill
cool.
Skarsgård. That's Bill Skarsgård. That's the dude that played it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Like,
was
he's
really
a
cool
bigger
watching
name
him get
actor
sliced
now.
up by Angelina Jolie. That was dope. But like,
When the Deviants first talked, I was like, "Oh, Deviants are kind of cool. I'm kind of into this now." And then we do the whole Steve Madden is actually the bad guy reveal, and I was just like, "Oh, I'm a lot less in on Steve Madden, the bad guy, or what's
Richard
his
Madden.
face from Game of Thrones, Richard Madden, aka Rob Stark." I was really not
it's Rob Stark. It's Rob Stark.
It's Rob Stark. But yeah, I just liked. I didn't like the villains. I feel like they could have done better with that. They could have like just focused on the Deviants. But the Robs, or either focus on the Deviants or Rob Stark, trying to do them both didn't come off. Didn't like that. But
Agreed.
you know, I laughed. I thought it was pretty interesting what they were doing. They could have had less characters, but really this is a Gemma Chan, Richard Madden movie. They're the 2 main characters, but you learn basically nothing about Gemma Chan.
Not at all. Not at all.
Like literally.
Yeah,
she likes
she's the
humans.
main character of this movie, and I couldn't tell you anything about her other than that she used to like Rob Stark, and now she likes Jon Snow.
A weird interplay within this movie that we all know as viewers. That we all know as viewers are like, weren't y'all two just in a like the biggest TV show in the world together?
Gemma Chan putting 2 brothers against each other. Well, I guess he's not the real brother because Jon Snow's the bastard, but either way, it's just weird.
Yeah, it was just weird, but I liked it. I liked the concept of it, and there were moments that I really, really liked, and that all added up to a B- despite some of the problems with this movie.
Yeah, this isn't as bad as the reviews say it is. Like don't believe the haters. The reviews are no. Like this isn't that bad. It just isn't. But it firmly sits in a C+ territory for me. I am so apathetic towards this movie. And I'll say that, and then we're gonna firmly break down the entire movie here in a little bit, and you're gonna be like, but no, I just think there's so many movies in this movie. Like there's like 3 or 4 movies that they wanted to make, and they only got a little bit of what we know as comfort food for the MCU. And look, I'm not saying that all of these MCU movies have to be the same, because that's literally what we've been complaining about for a long time, is that oh, they're all cookie cutter, and that's how they kind of started out. Really, you know, they had a formula of introducing superheroes and stuff. This was new, this was different. I appreciated what they tried to do, but do that, and then instead of like somewhere along the way, someone took Chloe Zhao's like family movie about the inner workings of creation and everything in this family of celestial beings, and say, hey, throw some Kumail Nanjiani jokes in there. You know what I mean? And that's fine. And he was fine, but like the comedy didn't really hit for me, because at the end of the day, this is all serious shit. And it's just like, it's just serious stuff that they're throwing out to you in the middle of this movie. Yeah, like Jack said, there is no God. Everything is run by these huge mega celestial things that can literally just destroy planets when they are born. They make new universes for some reason. They have to destroy planets to make universes. It's all heady, like big themes that they're trying to introduce. And obviously they're using this to introduce a lot more cosmic shit than we're used to in the MCU, which I don't know if they're going to succeed with that or not, because what we really liked in the MCU is, dude gets real big and dude gets real small, and Super Soldier has shield, and Thor has hammer and stuff like that. Just kind of these like,
and now Thor's fat. Yay.
Yeah. Just kind of these more or less, besides Thor, like all these superheroes kind of based on science. Like Iron Man is literally not a superhero. He's just rich and smart. And he may like, you know, it's just those sort of things is what we've like. Now we're going to space, and we're just, all right, we're here for the ride. But the way you introduce it is with this huge epic scale, just creationism, like just all this movie, just so much movie.
Yeah, it's not even that we're going to space. It's like we're explaining why space exists. Like,
yeah,
we've already been to space, like with Guardians of the Galaxy and like all the recent Avengers movies and all that shit. But now it's like, okay, so in the beginning,
right, and it just tries to explain to you the meaning of life and it does like the trolley problem basically in this movie. Like, what is one human life versus all this other stuff, and billions of other human lives and planets. And all that to say, they do that, and they introduce you to all of these new characters, a couple of which die within the confines of the movie, so you don't really have to care about them. But although, are they really dead? We don't know, because they can kind of I hope so. It's spoiler alert. They're all like celestial. They're all like robots, basically, which is kind of they're all like
weird Matrix hub where you can just like remake them if you want to, or whatever.
They're all Matrix-like robots that have these godlike powers because they are basically made by gods, and they introduces you to all of these people. And the problem that I had with all of that is that that's fine. I only gave a shit about like 3 of them.
I didn't give a shit about 3 of them. I was maybe
I got.
I really only
maybe 2. I got. Richard Madden, Gemma Chan.
I literally only cared about I cared about. It wasn't even those 3. I cared about the Flash, basically Barry Keoghan's character, and Brian Tyree Henry's character. That's all I gave a shit about, really, to be honest with you. And that's maybe because
Brian Tyree Henry anything to do, and I was very upset about it. He had literally nothing to do on this movie.
I don't know. He was giving Richard Madden the beats on the beach.
That was cool, but that was about it. But he was beating Richard Madden's ass. That was pretty awesome.
First not openly gay, but first on-screen gay kiss, on-screen gay couple in MCU. So that was interesting.
Can we talk about the sex scene for a second? I have a lot of questions.
Let's get to it.
One second. We'll get to all that. But like, I just don't care about these people, and I said that in on Twitter, I said that Chloe Zhao does a really good job of in her movies expressing emotion and feeling and story through silence and like what's on camera, and looking at each other for a long time, and you're going to let your actors express emotions that way. Doing that for like 35 minutes with Richard Madden and Gemma Chan walking through the Bronze Age. I don't give a fuck, man.
The beautiful hills and valleys, having a deep conversation and loving each other. Like, why? I don't care about this. I don't want to.
There is so much nothing going on between them fighting the deviants. And I say, and this is my final thing, I like the character designs. I think their powers are actually like the power designs and stuff is actually kind of different and cool as shit. Like the laser beam eyes from Richard Madden was dope as hell. Like this is also some of the best like super speed they'd ever shown in any movie.
Yeah, that was really dope.
They didn't do that enough. I thought most of the power designs and everything were really cool and really well done. Just one too many villains. I don't give a shit about like half these characters, and the deviants don't matter whatsoever. It just gives these people something to fight. You know what I mean?
And Gemma Chan has trash powers, and she's the main character. She's trash powers. I don't want to see.
I
don't want to see you turning stuff into flowers. Go blow something up.
Go blow something up. What did they need you for? Why did they make you like be able to do that? Like when they were designing all
they were assigning
creatures.
powers. Why did they do that?
The whole thing about her character is that she's supposed to be the one that relates to or can relate to whatever being that on that planet or human, whatever that they're trying to maintain to grow the society. And she's the best at like bridging that gap, so to speak, apparently. And so maybe that's why I don't have a problem with Gemma Chan being the great character, the lead character. They just didn't give her anything to do. She kind of just stared off into the middle distance a lot of the time.
This is like if we were making a movie about the Los Angeles Lakers when they won a championship, and instead of making LeBron James the main character, we made like a PR person in the front office the main character who's really good at interacting with fans on Twitter. Like, this doesn't make sense.
Jared Dudley.
I mean, yeah, I really don't have a problem with Gemma Chan being the leader of this group or whatever. It's just, I just wish either you knew more about her or she got to do more cool shit. Because like when she like wins the final fight at the end or whatever, it
wasn't cool at all.
Yeah, like doing a fucking Kamehameha like onto this.
She just touched the ground, and then cool shit was happening around her. But it's like, no, that's not a cool superhero moment. You're supposed to throw a fireball or do something cool, throw a hammer. Like it was not cool at all.
Like, by the way, so that celestial thing is just like stuck in the ground now. It's just there now.
Like a mountain now. He's
a
mountain or something.
I mean, the people of Earth in this universe have seen some weird shit. They'll get over it. Like
that's true.
They're just like now like a humanoid thing is just sticking out of the middle of the earth. All right.
Yeah, like they picked your city up out of the ground and like threw it into the sky.
A city was literally floating on TV, and the whole world saw it. Like
I guess half of them literally disappeared and came back.
Disappeared and came back. Like, yeah,
this ain't nothing. Yeah, this ain't nothing. This is a Tuesday. Yeah.
Fuck it.
No, okay. To finally get back to it, I don't think that Richard Madden and Gemma Chan had good chemistry, really, but they were hot and they were hot on screen together.
Let's talk about it.
And the sex scene.
Let's please talk about their chemistry.
You're an Eternal, man. Why did it last like 5 seconds? Why?
Oh God.
No stamina.
Oh, God.
No stamina.
Okay.
I mean, you got thousands of years.
That's true.
Let's walk through something. So this is obviously the first time we've ever seen a sex scene in the MCU, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I totally understand if you're going to portray something like sex in the MCU, this is one of those things that's much better put in the hands of a woman, i.e. the woman directing this film, as opposed to a dude bro. I do understand that.
Fact.
However, when we're making a decision of who to see having sex in the MCU, first, I don't understand how we landed on these two people who A, had no chemistry together, B, we don't care about these characters, and one of them wasn't even going to survive through the movie, and C, he ends up being a bad guy. Our first sex scene in the MCU is like, haha, he turned heel. We just showed you having sex in a field. It was beautiful, and then we made him turn heel. It was way
like on some rocks. They were like on.
What are we like? I don't understand how that's the. They never showed us Vision and Wanda having sex, and they actually like have a love interest that we're supposed to care about. Like,
I would love
they
to
show
know how that happens. Legit.
They showed them logistically. Yeah, they showed him. They showed them in separate beds in that entire show for a reason.
It's weird that it's like these are the two people. In 30 years, is going to be a trivia question, and no one's going to remember that the first sex scene wasn't like in Deadpool or Blade or some shit like that. It was in the Eternals, a movie that we're all gonna forget existed in 10 years.
Well, Deadpool. That had some of the raunchiest sex scenes I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yes, but not the MCU.
He literally gets pegged in that movie.
But yeah, I don't know, man. It was just like boring to look at and didn't add anything to the story, really. Because it's like, I mean, we already thought they loved each other. Like, are we supposed to think, oh, they really love each other now? They're fucking. We know mommy and daddy love each other very, very much. Like, I don't.
It really felt like Kevin Feige or the powers that be were like, we're going to allow you to like do some different shit in this movie that we're not
that we've never done
used
before.
Yeah, that we've never done before. And Chloe Zhao was like, bet, like you promise.
Was this not a scandal in the Midwest? Wasn't that like a big Midwestern outrage?
I'm surprised I haven't heard that much about it.
Anything about it
because I had somebody on Twitter the other day was like, I said, I don't know how I feel about the Eternals just in general. Like, I'm just kind of down on it. And they said, oh no, I'm taking my kid to go see it. And I'm thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, it's like they're 10 and it's for his 11th birthday, 10 and 11th birthday or whatever. And I'm thinking in the back of my head, this is not a kid's movie anymore.
People didn't know
They've
there
seen
was
much worse.
There's no way
they have seen much worse. Like look,
that's true.
But when you're not, I wasn't expecting a sex scene in the middle of this Disney film.
Yeah, I for sure wasn't either. But
I was taken aback. I was like, wait, did we just see sex in the MCU? Like,
they're like, hey, we got to get kiss in there. Got to see both sides. Like,
that's probably exactly what they did. That's probably exactly what they did.
We can't just have the gay scene. We got to have a straight scene in there too. Like,
I mean, it was a sex. There was a thrust. There was a thrust in the sex.
Yes, like this is full blown Disney sex. This is crazy.
Yeah, it wasn't given. I would have liked, if they're gonna do it, just do more.
It wasn't given.
If you're gonna go there with it, just go all the way.
You had Angelina Jolie on set, who was quite literally dripping sexuality in every scene that she was in, whether it was on purpose or not. The scene, I went to the second time I saw it, I went with someone, but the first time I saw it alone. And my second time was her first time. And when we saw the scene where Rob Stark first interacts with Angelina Jolie, the person leaned over to me and literally said, oh, there's a lot of sexual tension here between these two.
There was more chemistry between those two.
And I said, I had the same thought. Like, independently, when I saw the first time I saw that scene, I was like, oh, they're going to get it on. Like, there's a lot of, there's chemistry there immediately. And then they never talk again in the movie. They literally never talk again. And you're like, you paired him off with this woman he has no chemistry with, even though they're supposed to be in love. And he was on scene with Angelina Jolie. He was on screen for Angelina Jolie for 20 seconds, and I felt the heat immediately. I was like, "Oh, there's passion between these two."
She was by far that just is the product of she's just a great actress, like an all-time actress at this point.
Been doing it for
decades. She is the best actress in this movie by far. Like, she's like the best acting in this movie. But
this brings
also
me to my question about Gemma Chan.
But also, real quick, she is by far like what is going on with Angelina Jolie's career that she would take the 7th lead? And obviously there's more about her that they left literally like on a cliffhanger because she has like the Mind Weary or whatever it is. And it's just like, so there's Mad Weary. I couldn't even hear some of the shit that they were pronouncing in this movie, but like, there's more stuff that they kind of just tease and then don't explain whatsoever. And I hope that they come back and explain some of that shit because I was lost. Like, the fuck is Mad Weary? What does it matter? But to say all that, what is going on with Angelina Jolie's career that she's like the 5th or 4th lead in an MCU movie.
I want to see her in more stuff. That woman she exudes sex on the screen still. It is incredible what she does.
There's
It
some
is
weird
insanely good.
There's some weird Reddit posts of her and that deviant character before she
when
dropped it.
Bro, when he tied her around I was like, am I just thinking about this in a sexual way because it's Angelina Jolie on screen?
Yes.
Because I wouldn't have thought about it like that if it was someone else. Like I wouldn't have thought about it like that.
There's
but it's
some
Angelina Jolie, and you're seeing her being literally strapped with her hands behind her back, and I was like, it can't be only me that felt like there was sexual. Yes.
Yeah, this is on some weird Reddit moderator boards right now.
There's also a very weird sexual tension of the way her scenes are with the Asian guy, the Gilgamesh, who is her basically protector, but his job is to tame, like quite literally tame her. So she will become like when Mad Worry hits her, she is fighting and he has to literally like physically, and he's like really strong. He has to literally physically put her in her place, and that's his role. So I just feel like everything she was doing on screen was really sexual, but I realized I'm only saying that because she's Angelina Jolie, and that's what she does to every role. She's just like the greatest of all time.
Yeah, and also that type of dynamic is just like inherently like it just feels sexual because like they did the same thing with ScarJo and the Hulk. Like that's just, it just is sexual. Like no matter how.
And they basically pretend they just continued to make that like, oh, they're actually in a relationship.
Yeah,
like they continued that into being like, oh, they've actually had sex. Like they make jokes about that.
They know what that stuff means. Like that stuff is very intentional in the way that they're showing a relationship of this woman to this man. And you're right, they've done it 3 or 4 different times in iterations of like very powerful man who's like he is the guardian and hero of this woman who he has to like physically put in her place because he's stronger than her. They do that all the time. There's always sexual every time.
Yeah, I feel like
brings you to this question
when they're hot, like, but yeah, it brings me to this question about Gemma Chan. Where are we at on Gemma Chan? Is she a good actress? Do we know yet?
I mean, what else has she been in besides Crazy Rich Asians?
Crazy Rich Asians, right? I thought
she was in the other MCU movie, Captain Marvel. And
what was she in Captain Marvel?
Wait, what?
Yeah, she was in Captain Marvel as a different character entirely. Like,
they're just running out of people to cast at this point. like fuck, who haven't we? Jon Snow, get him in here.
Yeah. What else has she been in?
I want to have a conversation about Jon Snow after we're done talking about Gemma Chan.
Yeah, we can do that. But yeah, she was in.
She was in Captain Marvel. Yeah,
Fantastic Beasts.
I forgot about that. Do you think that she's a bad actress, Deck? Is that your take that you want to submit for the court today?
I don't know. I can't decide. It's
more research needs to be done.
She was also in Let Them All Talk, that Meryl Streep movie, which is actually pretty good.
I didn't watch that.
But I don't know. I can't tell if she's good or if she's just hot and British. So it seems like she's good no matter what she does.
That's fine by me. That's all you
I
need
have
to
my
be.
answer.
That's all you need to be.
Didn't she play the sister in this movie? She wasn't the lead, and in Crazy Rich Asians, she was the sister of like there was something weird going on with her and her husband.
Yeah,
I thought she was incredible in that movie.
Yeah, I thought she was great in Crazy Rich Asians.
Thought I have to look up who this actress is, and I looked and I was like, this Gemma Chan person is going.
I forgot which character she played, but now that you bring it, she was actually.
I thought she was great, but I did not.
Astrid,
yes, but in this movie, I did not have that same. I was just like, oh, she's okay. I didn't think that she was like particularly great. I thought that Camille Nanjiani was great. The valet guy was great, and Angelina Jolie was great, and everybody else was just kind of like, they were there.
Maybe she just can't lead a movie this big. That might be it.
I thought Barry, just going down the line because there's 1,000 characters in this movie. I thought Barry Keoghan was good. He's always good. I'm sorry. Really?
I'm joining his hive. I'm joining his hive right now.
Not like because of the actor or anything, just the character. I just fucking hated that character.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
Now Johnny said Drug sucks.
Yeah, I didn't think the comedy bents always landed, but Camille was trying his best. Like he understood what movie they were trying to make, I think, and like the hashing out of being 1,000 different actors all with like this. I was my great grandfather. I was my great great. That was all good.
You didn't, but did you not think that those parts of the movie worked? Because those were the parts of the movie that really worked.
Well, yeah, I love
it's
that.
It's like they
camera guy.
I liked it, but it's just a completely different movie. It's a completely different thing.
It's a very different movie.
And it's all of a sudden, it's like he hadn't done anything really up until that point. And then it's like, all right, now we're going to give Camille his like 30 minutes in this movie. You know what I mean?
He
And they
has a
like
good
it felt
amount of
like
screen time in this film.
yeah, it felt like they blocked out that portion of the thing where he's like, all right, I got some material I've been working on. And and it just because at the very beginning it really focuses on giving you all of this exposition that he doesn't really say anything for like the first 45 minutes of this movie. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, I'm the charismatic one. What? Okay. I mean, that's fine because we know that it's Camille Nanjiani. Like we've seen him in shit now. He's now a big star, like comedy star in Hollywood. But like now all of a sudden it's just like, now we're going to get these jokes off. Okay. But like,
I didn't mind it. I did feel like I do agree that that is literally a separate movie, but I liked that part of the movie. It was the other stuff that I was,
that's where I'm at. I think it was a good change of pace. It's like he was the change of pace back. He's the
catching it out of the backfield. He's a Reggie Bush.
Yeah, he's the Reggie Bush, and everybody else is on their Lindell White. Just gotta like just ram it in there, and you need Reggie Bush to just come out here and be fast and like make jukes and shit. But 3rd and 1, you're gonna put in Lindell White.
Yeah,
and there are a lot of 3rd and 1s in this movie.
Yeah, the character of Sprite, I heard people say that they didn't really like her. I mean, she's like a 15, 16-year-old actress.
Stinks.
Like she wasn't good.
Not the actress. I'm not saying the actress is bad. I'm saying that character absolutely.
The character is impossible to like.
Yeah. Well, they also like didn't flesh out her character yet enough. So they was just like, oh, I'm sad because I'm 8,000 years old.
Because I look like a kid. I'm like, you just because you look like a teenager don't mean you should have teenage angst in 8,000 years old. It doesn't make sense. The whole character is just bad. I do not get the character at all.
Richard Madden won't fuck me.
Yeah, I mean, I just she
like,
wasn't that good. I actually think that Richard Madden was like way too stiff in this movie, and I think he tried to play like the stoic Superman character sort of thing.
I could not agree more.
I think he tried. I think he was just way too like there's a couple comedy bits that he got to do that you just saw in the trailers, but that was literally it. What you've seen in the trailers was quite literally it. And the other times it's just like, all right, let's go. Come on. He's in a Scottish brogue or whatever. He's just like,
He made a flat character even more flat with his performance. Like he didn't, I don't know what he was going for. And that guy's a good actor. He is really good as Rob Stark. I do want to comment.
He's also good in Bodyguard too. If you haven't seen that on Netflix, he won a Golden Globe for it. He's very, very good. And looks like Dex dropped.
I was gonna say I'm still here. Well, we should keep talking until Dex gets back.
Yeah, he was very, very good in The Bodyguard too. So I don't think he's a bad actor. But what were you saying that like, all of a sudden, he's back? He made a flat character even flatter. Is that what you were saying?
Yes, I felt like he made a flat character already even flatter with his performance. He had no chemistry with the lead, and I found it so weird until the end. Obviously, you realize Jon Snow has a much bigger destiny in this whole grand scheme of things than we might think from the movie, because Jon Snow's not in the movie that much. But I thought he was so charming in his scenes in the beginning and in the end of the movie that I said I wondered why we had her spend so much time on screen with Richard Madden when these two have no chemistry, but we could just have her spending time with Jon Snow. But now I understand the casting much more, that we're going to kill the Richard Madden character. I'd much rather keep the Jon Snow character around. So I get that decision, but it's to the detriment of this particular movie, even if it's to the benefit of the MCU as a larger whole, because we spend a lot of time with Richard Madden that we really don't have to. And I don't think that the character or the performance is that inspiring.
Also, quite literally, his name is Icarus. And the funniest fucking thing in this movie is that they fly him into the sun to kill him.
Hated that.
It's so bad. Oh, it's so bad.
I loved it. That was incredible.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of laughed out loud because I'm like, what a way to go. Like, what a way to I'm just gonna go fly into the fucking sun. I'm done.
I just loved that. Throughout this movie, they were like, Icarus, like, come on, like the guy that flew into the sun. They were like, yeah, like that, and he flies into the fucking sun. I just love it.
I don't. That process makes no sense. That character arc makes no sense. I just don't understand any of his decisions. If you are committed enough to kill your mentor that you've been following for 7,000 years, then all of a sudden when you finally get to the end and all of a sudden you're not committed anymore because of the power of love or something, and then you just fly into the side, I didn't get it. I didn't.
Yeah, it
It
didn't
was that
pay
sex
off.
scene with Gemma Chan.
You killed other Eternals, bro. You've gone too far to turn back. You
He
literally
didn't have
can't turn
sex with
back.
them. He had sex with Gemma Chan. It's a different thing. Had he had
If
sex
he
with
would've-
Salma Hayek, different conversation.
Yeah, Angelina Jolie would have kept him on Earth. No disrespect to Jim and Chan, you're beautiful, by the way. Holy shit.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but no, I just think, yeah, and then his like turn to being partially evil in this, he didn't even play it conflicted. Like he had a little bit of a moment where he screamed and like blew up like her farm or
I
whatever.
remember that.
Like that was fine, but like he wasn't conflicted about anything that he did. He was just, it was all straightforward from the jump, and it just was so, yeah, like flat. It was just all flat, and it's like, and then his turn to evil, like he wasn't even an intimidating evil person because basically Brian Tyree Henry just like trapped him on the beach. Like he was just like, nah, you're good.
He was intimidating for like a good like 10 minutes when they were like trying to fight him or whatever, and he was like, nah, bitch, I'll beat all y'all fucking asses. Y'all already know how this is about to go. Like, I appreciate
Well,
it.
at least they did that a little bit better than what they did in Justice League, where they all fight Superman and they literally can't do anything to him.
Kal-El, no.
Yeah, they literally cannot. They cannot even touch him. But yeah, but I'm forgetting her name. The Flash character was also giving him the beats too. Lauren
she was whooping
Ridloff.
his ass. She was
Makari.
whooping his ass.
Yeah, because
I
I
love
did
that
like
scene.
I did like her. I liked her and her characterization and everything else.
She's great.
She
Also,
was whooping his ass.
her and Droog had a better chemistry than Gemma Chan and Richard Madden to begin with too.
I had better chemistry with the guy sitting next to me the first time I saw the movie than this again. I didn't even know him. What are we talking about?
No, I just
Before
think
I was rudely interrupted by my bad internet connection, I asked the question: is Richard Madden a better Superman than Henry Cavill? Yes or no?
no,
No.
I think he definitely is.
no, not at all.
Why?
Henry Cavill can't act. Richard Madden.
I think they're both bad at Superman.
They're bad in there.
But
He's bad. We were just
Yes.
did a soliloquy of like how bad he was in this movie.
I think he's
Henry
bad.
Cavill's worse.
I don't think so. I think you're mistaking a
I
bad
think
film.
Henry
I,
Cavill
thi-
is worse.
I think you're mistaking a very bad, like some very bad films with bad acting, and I don't think. I think
Nah.
I think
I-
Henry
Henry
Cavill is
Cavill-
bad at Superman too, but I think Richard Madden is also bad at
I
Superman.
think Henry. I haven't seen The Witcher yet, so maybe I'm missing something. But every time I've seen Henry Cavill, he is much worse than Richard Madden. Is
he's
in
great
everything
in
I've seen
he's
him.
great in Mission Impossible.
No, he's not.
And Richard Madden could never fight Tom Cruise in that way.
He's just big in Mission Impossible.
he's big as shit, man.
He's
Holy
just
hell!
big. And
Looking
he
at-
grows a pocket in a bathroom.
Watching him
Legendary.
next to Tom Cruise in that movie, you just realize how big Henry Cavill actually is. You're like,
what a
good Lord.
fucking badass.
I think Richard Madden would have been a better Superman, and I think he was better in this movie.
He's not dead, by the way, Tej. You keep saying that he's dead. There's 0% chance that they don't bring him back.
Why
Zero
would he
point.
not be? dead?
He needs to be dead. He needs to be. Why do we want him? We don't want him back. He needs to be dead. He needs to be dead now.
There's 0.0 chance that Richard Madden signed on to do one-off Eternals film as the strongest Eternal.
Please.
There
We
is-
do not need him back.
What are you talking about? There's
You
no.
think-
Yes. you-
Nobody dies in movies. Even when you see them die, you're like, nice.
I'm
Every
telling
single
you,
movie
he-
death, you're like, nice.
I'm telling you, he's
I
coming
definitely
back.
think that he's dead.
I don't think that Gilgamesh will come back. I think he's dead. I think Selma Hayek already signed on to do another movie, so she's not dead.
Wait,
Like, it's
Selma Hayek is going to be back?
yes, she's back. So
To do
these,
what?
These things.
What is she going to do? Why do we need Ajax?
I'm telling you, yeah, she also stunk. She was, I can heal, but like they didn't sign up to do just one. Like Angelina Jolie didn't sign up to do just one movie. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like
she's
didn't
always
die.
welcome back. She's always
it
welcome
doesn't
back.
matter. But they recreate these Eternals things, and they basically start over
Oh,
or are
no.
erased on every planet. So he's coming back. He'll be back with it. Like in they'll
Oh,
have to.
No.
Nah,
I-
fuck that.
I promise you, he'll be back.
Fuck that. That
Bet I can find some Screen Rant article about how
We
he's
have
not
Jon
dead.
Snow, the King of the North, in the MCU. We don't need him.
King of the North.
A totally different character.
I know.
I just love Jon Snow's performance in this film, and I realized
He's not a good actor either.
Yes, he is.
No.
And he was great in this movie.
He was bad.
It was great having him around, and
He was
it's going to be
bad.
great having him around.
His character is fine. His character is fine, and his levity is good. His line delivery sucks ass. He's so
Have you
bad.
seen Game of Thrones? He carried that shit on his back like he was Kobe in the fourth quarter. He's
The last
great.
3 seasons of that, he was bad.
False.
I don't think that Jon Snow is ever bad. I've never said a bad thing about Jon Snow.
I've never
don't-
seen Kit Harington be bad.
I don't want to be king. Please don't make me be king. Oh
He
no,
does a
you're
good
making me
job.
be king. Oh, Mother of Dragons, will you please bust it down for me?
I do not agree with this take at all. Jon Snow, or whatever his real name is,
I don't
is
think he's a
talented
bad
actor.
actor. I think
I thought he was good in this movie.
I
He
don't.
was
I
good.
don't. I think his character is fine. I just think him trying to be quirky isn't like.
That's the whole character.
I was into the quirkiness.
Eh. I thought some was good, but some of the stuff when he was running from the deviants at first and trying to be scared of like, you could tell he's acting against something that isn't there. Like he was just like,
He's
he's like,
unathletic,
he's
but
just
he's
like-
a good actor.
he was just like,
Yes,
he's just like, oh
agreed.
no, the deviants run away.
As
That's
long as he can swing a sword when it's time to swing a sword and kill some aliens,
which,
well, I'm in on this guy.
by the
Swing a
way,
sword, talk your shit. I'm in.
by the
We
way,
know he
him
can swing
being a
sword. We've
knight,
seen him swing a sword.
him being a knight for like 10 years in a TV show, and then like getting done with that and basically saying he wanted to distance himself completely from anything Game of Thrones, and then just go, you know what? I'll be a knight for MCU.
We all have a price, my friend. We all have a price.
Oh, I'm
He
sure they
probably did
paid
wanna
him-
play some- Yeah,
I'm sure they
he
paid
wanted
him
to pay-
buku dollars to be in this.
Sure, he wanted to
shit.
play somebody else until he saw the check, and he was like, "I guess I could play a knight again." I would too.
He had
I don't
never
like
heard
Jon
of that
Snow.
fucking character, and they were like, "You want an MCU movie?" And he was like, "Yeah." And then they told him later that he was playing that.
He didn't even care. He was like, "Yeah, sure, I'm there. Whatever."
Yeah, whatever. How much to check? Okay.
I do
Oh
have
my God.
one big question that really bothers me about this movie. It's why I can never love this movie. So the main question that we all had when this trailer came out, and we all figured out, or that we heard of what the Eternals were and looked up what they were, the first question everybody had was, if these people have existed the whole time, how the fuck have all these events of the MCU even taken place without
Can't
their
interfere.
intervening, including the Thanos thing? And
Can't
the way the
interfere.
trailer is set up, the trailer, they tell you we can't interfere in the affairs of humans. Makes perfect sense. I bought into that premise when I saw the trailer.
Very stupid,
After
but I
watching-
get it.
After watching the movie, the premise makes no sense to me. Here's why. Ayrshire made these rules. One of the rules was you can't interfere with humans, but you need to help humans in a way that they can grow to basically be a big battery pack so we can birth another celestial, right? This is
Yeah.
basically just charging your iPhone for however long it takes to charge an iPhone, 8,000 years. And then once you get full battery life, you take it off the charger and the whole thing blows up. Okay, cool. Now you hear that you've been cultivating this little planet and letting them go through their own human conflicts, and you're cultivating the planet, and the population is getting larger and larger, and it's generating more and more power. Then you hear, because Thanos is an Eternal with a deviant gene, so you should know, or at least you, if you're a Celestial, y'all should know this guy plans on snapping away half of the power in the universe. Who cares about humans? Who cares about human lives? But it's just taking half the power away from your battery. Why would you allow that to happen if your whole plan is to charge the battery enough to where you can birth the Celestial? You and the Avengers were on the same side on that issue, so why not just come help them defeat Thanos? Why not?
Yeah, I mean,
Because they needed to explain why the planet hadn't exploded yet. Because half of them went away. Shut up. Forget about it.
also maybe they like knew. I don't know. Do they get to know things? Well, not the Eternals, but like the Celestials. Do they get to just know things?
When-
I don't-
When Thanos was out here putting up 55 points a game on humanity, Gemma Chan was sitting in London teaching school kids like everything was fine. That's crazy to me.
Did half of them get snapped away? Is that how it
Good
works?
question. Maybe they were immune to it because they're not human, so they didn't all get
Maybe.
snapped away.
But it was like all life in the universe, or like whatever.
Supposed to
they
believe
count
that they
as-
aren't. It's supposed to believe that they're not actually like alive.
Did half
Okay,
the
fair enough.
deviants get snapped away too? I guess we don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, I guess we don't know. But I mean, whatever. I mean, it's like one of those things. They came back. Who cares?
Um, Can we talk about how Brian Tyree Henry created the atomic bomb?
That part of the movie does not work.
that. I love that shit.
What the fuck? They're just like, hey, by the way, Hiroshima.
That part of the movie does not work at
All of the flashbacks where they're just going back and creating all this extra shit throughout humanity. I was like, this is amazing. This is like MCU mythology. I'm here for it. I'm on board. This whole movie should be this.
If we're supposed to think that this character is as smart as he is in this film, there's no way that he could have not predicted what was going to happen when you allowed humans to become technological enough to make a weapon that can kill that many people at one time. I do not understand why all of a sudden, after millions upon millions of people have died at the things that he has helped create across time, finally that many people dying at one time was like his last straw. Millions of people have died because you have helped humanity create the weapons that have killed other humans. I don't understand why this was the, oh my God, now I see the error of my ways type moment for him. It does not make sense.
This is the machine
It makes sense
gun.
to me. It was Hiroshima. The game doesn't change, dog. Like it's the fucking atomic
How
bomb.
many people died by sword before he was like, let's give them guns? And he still was just like, yeah, I'm in the game still. I'm going to keep giving them stuff. And then the atomic bomb was like, oh, okay, maybe I got to get out the game now. I didn't
Ryan
understand.
Tyree Henry, like the best arms dealer on the planet. I was just shocked. It's just completely out of left field. They're like, hey, by the way,
it comes out of nowhere.
atomic bomb.
Now we're in,
Like, whoa,
now we're in
what?
Hiroshima. It's like, man, this is a tough hang,
Woo,
man. I didn't really want to hang out
heavy.
here.
Heavy.
I mean, it's really not like that
Yes,
out of
it
left
is.
field. It's like war. Like they've been building this up this entire time.
Yeah, they could have
Humans are
done.
killing
They
each
could have
other.
not
War
done
is
the
happening.
atomic bomb.
They didn't have to
Then
drop us
boom,
into it.
war.
Like, why do we have to be literally like POV? Like, here is the site where the bomb hit. Like, why do we have to be there? Like,
You
I
have to
don't understand.
explain why Brian Tyree Henry is not in this movie for an hour before he comes back. You have to explain why they have to go to this random ass farm in the middle of well, he's not on a farm, he's in like Chicago.
He's
or
a
whatever.
suburb. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like, you have to explain why he just goes to live in Chicago as this like immortal being, which like how do you have that conversation, by the way? Do you
With
do
your
you
significant other?
yeah, do you bring that up immediately? Like, is that what you use to like get a significant other, or do you like hide that until the very end?
I don't think anybody wants a significant other that's going to live forever. So maybe that's something you hide until y'all really fall in love.
I would be like, I've lived forever and I made all this really cool shit. Come check me out. Like
That'd be
I
your
got-
Bumble. That'd be on Bumble.
You will not believe what I can do in a bedroom given like 2 minutes. Like,
I will make something that will have your head spinning.
I've spent the last 3,000 years perfecting things that I can show you.
you
if you
have
just follow
no
me.
fucking idea what I am capable of. Ask
Oh.
about me.
Tell your friends. I
But yeah, you have to explain why he's out of the movie for as long as he is. And like they've been talking about humans and like killing each other and war this entire time. I thought it was fine. I wasn't that surprised by it.
That was a
It's
very
Oh.
weird,
logical
like
extension.
sudden scene change for me. I was like, wow.
also
here
is
now.
is
Okay.
is Droog like a cult leader now? Like is he like Jim Jones? What is this convent that he is like made in the Amazon?
Yeah,
They
that
always
was so
make him
fucking
play
weird.
people that even if he plays a good guy, he's got kind of like a very dark side to him.
What's his
And
face?
He's perfect in that role because of the way he looks. It's literally perfect. Like
It's his face.
any-
It's the way he
anybody
looks.
who's having dark
He
ass
looks like
thoughts
that,
he
so-
probably shouldn't be having. He looks like that. He's perfectly cast.
I mean, he looks the way that's my favorite text. But he looks the way that he looks.
Yeah, he looks the way that he looks. That's the entire reason.
If
that
you
he
have not
can-
seen The Killing of a Sacred Deer, please watch it. That's when I realized that this kid is the next thing popping.
He simultaneously looks 65 and 15 at the same time. I cannot pin it down. It's so weird. Yeah,
He
so
looks
let me
like someone drew Ezra Miller from memory.
just like the essence of Ezra Miller.
Yeah, just like the
He has a
like,
very shifty face, which makes him great to play characters that are a bit shifty because he has a very shifty face.
you know how LaCroix like just kind of tastes like whatever flavor
Yeah,
they tell
so-
you it is.
Sounds like somebody whispered.
LaCroix Ezra Miller.
It tastes like somebody whispered berries from the other room.
Yeah, that's like That's Barry, whatever his last name is. That's his relationship to Ezra Miller.
So this is from Screen Rant. The interesting question, though, is whether or not Icarus will stay dead. In the comics, the Eternals cheat death by being resurrected by the Great Machine. One shot in the Eternals saw the celestial Arishem revealed to the Eternals that they were created in a realm called the World Forge, which looked reminiscent to the Great Machine, meaning it could potentially create a new Icarus. Should it do so, however, the new Icarus would not have the memories of the old one, making him a very different character than the one who died in the Eternals. So there's that.
I don't want that.
I don't want that. No, thank
Telling you, blood promise he will be in the next Eternals thing.
First of all, I hope there's no standalone Eternals thing. We don't need that either.
Oh, there's definitely gotta be.
No, we can just put them in like their own. We can just put them in. They pop in on the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, what's going to be funny is that like the three of them that were left on Earth, besides Sprite, who is now just like a human, they were basically like, cut her out, whatever. We don't need her.
She's going to be in the Young Avengers, I believe. So she's.
Okay. They basically like they took them off world, and they were like, yeah. That basically told me they're like, yeah, you ain't going to see these people for a couple of movies. Yeah, you aren't going to see these people for a while. You know what I mean?
The ones they took off world or the ones that they left on world are the ones you're not going to see.
They took everyone besides the three that were flying around in the spaceship. They took Gemma Chan, Byron Tyree Henry, and Kumail off world or whatever to judge.
Whether their sacrifice was worthy or not.
Also, what a wild day. Just see that thing coming through the clouds. You're just like, what?
Yeah.
Captain America, none of the superheroes can save you from this dude. Holy shit, Airship was scary as fuck when he showed up.
Oh, we're supposed to believe a dude with a metal arm is going to fight this fucking thing?
Yeah, he's going to go fight actual God.
I don't know how they're going to bring that down to scale because the Celestials are a thing that, mega villains and things like I don't know how they bring this down to a plausible, Thanos felt like not too OP that you couldn't win. You know what I mean? And maybe that's
Thor is the god of, lightning or thunder, whatever he is. And he can reasonably be in a fight with Thanos or whatever. And that just makes sense. Captain America, he's got heart. Kid's got moxie.
They find ways in the comics to kill Celestial, so there must be a way. So
I mean, they killed one in this movie, but I don't.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't want to have to do a mind wave link thing every single time we.
You mean Unibrain?
Unibrain, yeah.
I feel like we're not gonna see these people side by side in a fight with Tom Holland or whatever. They're probably just gonna do their own thing for a while. They got this Harry Styles storyline. They're probably gonna go off.
That's more Guardians of the Galaxy. I feel like they're gonna somehow rope this into the Guardians of the Galaxy because the way that theme was set up, they introduced him with not a Journey song, a Boston song or something like that.
Sure.
And oh, by the way, we got to talk about this. We basically talked about the entire movie. They introduced Harry Styles. The troll character played by Patton Oswalt, which I immediately I was like, oh, that's Patton Oswalt. That CGI of that looked fucking terrible.
I honestly don't even remember what it looked like. I'll take your word.
Awful. T, do you have it?
Apparently, The Rock used one of my tweets in one of his TikTok videos.
Wait.
Oh,
no
shit. Let's go.
No way.
Is this on your TL right now? I have to go.
I just retweeted it. I'm gonna send it.
Oh no!
What is happening?
Oh no! Oh my god! I
haven't even listened to what he says yet, but
hold on. Let's see if I can hear it on the if we can play it on the podcast.
This is insane.
Oh my god. Okay, share.
This is a TikTok featuring The Rock from Twitter's official TikTok account.
Well,
this is amazing.
What is going on?
This tops Usain Bolt, honestly. Like this is amazing.
Holy shit, man.
Can y'all hear this?
Turn up.
No,
Okay. No.
I don't even know what he said yet. So I'll be hearing this live for the first time if you could play it. I did not hear what he said.
He said, what celebs do you think work out to The Rock's raps? And you said The Rock. He said like all of them. Ryan Reynolds,
lying.
Emily Blunt, Kevin Hart.
If you're listening to this right now, Dwayne, we know that you aren't telling the truth. And if people are telling you that they work out to your music, your celebrity friends tell you that, they are lying to you, bro. I'm just here to tell you that right now. I'm sorry to break the news to you, Dwayne. They are lying to you.
The Rock, we know that you listen to our podcast, so you know that we're on your side in the Vin Diesel beef, and we love
That's
you.
true.
And we want you to come on the podcast, please.
We do love you, and we are on your side against Vin Diesel. However, I don't think Vin Diesel works out to your music either when he's working.
What
out. No
the
offense.
fuck is going on?
We reviewed
What
your
is going
movie
on?
about the WWE with Florence Pugh. We all thought it was amazing.
We
Please
did
come on
we
the
did.
podcast and talk to us. We love you. We will work out to your raps if you come onto the podcast.
Mr. The Rock, please disregard Tej's slander. We will definitely have you on to review whatever movie, whatever
we would love to have
mediocre
you,
movie
Mr.
that you
Rock.
want to review.
We will like make your raps the official intro to this podcast.
We will do a Jungle
It's
Cruise
about
episode
power.
If you come on this podcast, we will do a Jungle Cruise episode.
I'm tweeting the video and saying come on the pod
Yes.
at The Rock. Wait, or is it just
I can't
Rock?
believe this.
No, it is. Yeah, at The Rock.
I can't believe The Rock is responding to
What is happening?
on video. This is incredible content.
It is
Oh my
it's on Twitter's TikTok.
I'm going to get canceled. My mentions are going to be ugly. I'm going to get canceled.
I also appreciate that
I've flown too close to the sun. I've flown way too close to the sun now.
you are now forever immortalized as a lifelong Georgia fan.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Finally, I've been accepted. A football team that will not embarrass me. Thank God.
I don't know about
Go
that,
Dogs.
buddy.
10-0.
Holy shit. All right. Just for pause 1 second. I'm going to intercut the audio of The Rock's subtweeting Tej in a
Good
video
job. Good job.
right now. What is happening?
I can't believe that this happened. That was like when the song came out. God, I hope he did not see the rest of my tweets. I tweeted about that song for about 20 minutes. I could not believe.
Whoever that other guy is that like tweets about that song every fucking day. I need him to see those tweets.
It's about drive. It's about power. It's about.
Because
I'm
I'm
gonna-
gonna,
this is
hey,
happening-
by the way, that is the ending song to this podcast, by the way.
Yes.
Oh,
This is insane, bro.
My head is spinning. What?
it's The Rock.
The Rock, the future president just talked about
Future
you.
president.
The future
God.
Republican nominee for president just basically subtweeted you.
This
I can't
like,
believe that. I cannot believe that this has happened.
my favorite wrestler of my childhood. Just like
I was more of a
Talking
Steve Austin fan. Steve Austin wouldn't have done this to my tweet.
Steve Austin would never. Steve Austin would never be on TikTok.
Does Steve Austin have Twitter? Yeah, does Steve Austin have Twitter?
Somebody
Stone Cold,
has.
we would
this
also love to
Twitter.
have you on this episode, Stone Cold. If you want to review a movie, we'll do whatever movie you want.
Yeah, we'll have Stone Cold on.
I
We'll have both
fucking
of them
love
on.
Stone Cold.
That would fucking change my life.
All right, this podcast about the Eternals has just been usurped by The Rock.
Oh my god.
I can't fucking believe this is happening right now. What the fuck?
Why did Twitter like choose that? Did that tweet go viral? Yeah, it
Oh,
got like
God.
2,500 like likes.
People
or
are
something.
under there talking about, oh, that's the guy who has beef with Jamaica. This is horrible. I don't have beef with Jamaica. I love the island nation of Jamaica.
Jamaica
Also-
has beef with you.
Yeah, yeah. You don't have They got mega beef with you. Also, like well known for going around town with Tiana Trump. Also that.
Oh my god.
Once
People
was
that you-
almost cast
the
in a
internet have
porn and The
associated with
Bachelor.
me. The people that the internet have associated with me.
Tiana Trump.
I did love The Rock as a
Not
kid.
for nothing.
And I
You look like 18 different people.
Any black guy with a thick beard, basically. You look
Oh,
like
God.
the Hotep guy from TikTok. Everyone decided you look like.
I enjoy The Rock in movies. I was the only one in the world who actually really liked Hobbs and Shaw. So I don't want to be accused of slandering The Rock. I love The Rock.
I saw Skyscraper in theaters opening night. I gave you my $10.
Oh, I was
come
there
on the
too. I was there week one. Yeah.
Mr. Johnson, please come on the pod.
I've given you many of my monies. Hey, by the way, we will start the campaign for you to not be in Fast and Furious 10.
Yeah, if
How
you
about
don't
that?
want to be in it, we'll
defend
Or
you.
better yet, we will start the campaign that you star in Fast and Furious 10 and
Yes.
replace Vin Diesel.
Yes,
Boom.
we could make it so that you kill Vin Diesel with your bare hands in Fast and Furious 10.
We have that kind
And
of
in
power.
real life,
Mr.
we can make that.
Johnson. We can make this happen with our internet.com. We could do this. Let's
Mr. The Rock
collaborate.
Johnson, everything is possible. Also, drink Terramana. Thank you. Please come on the podcast. Holy
I also
shit.
love Moana. Moana is the greatest film of all time. Thank you.
Incredible. I even like the Scorpion King. That was dope.
I like the second The Mummy where you were, an actual scorpion. Many people have said that's the worst CGI of all time. Not I.
Your turn is Hercules. Incredible. I feel like that doesn't get as much love as it deserves. Please come on the pod.
Oh man, when you were saving San Francisco from a literal earthquake, Oscar worthy. Got to come on the podcast.
Rampage, incredible content. Everyone loved it, including us. It deserved an Oscar. You were snubbed.
Agreed.
You should have been in Eternals. It would have been a much better movie with The Rock in it.
Look, we all saw Walking Tall when we were like, this dude acting chops.
Got it.
Got it. He's got whatever this is.
We knew it from day one.
Mm-hmm.
We smelled what you were cooking, Mr. Rock.
Oh man,
Okay, what do we have to say about the Eternals after this?
Nothing. What are we talking about?
What are our final thoughts on the Eternals?
What are we
if
talking
have
about?
any?
Who gives a shit?
Down with Harry Styles, up with The Rock.
Oh,
Agreed.
well,
I think the
let's-
Eternals would have been better if The Rock played Gilgamesh. That's just me.
Yeah, well,
1000%.
they wouldn't have killed him off either.
Oh my God.
Um,
I need The Rock and Angelina Jolie like in a movie.
I
just
need it.
I need that. That just has to happen. We can do this for you, Mr. Rock.
Wait, are you talking about like the yellow YouTube, the orange YouTube? Is that what you're talking about?
The orange YouTube.
Hey, no
I
comment.
have no comment on whether I would watch said video or not. I have no comment.
You would watch that video if it popped up in your inbox. Just real quick, the final MCU. We got a kind of a Blade teaser.
Yes, we did, and I am
was
fucking
that-
ready.
Was that Mahershala at the end?
Yeah,
Yes,
that
that
was
was Mahershala's
definitely
voice.
Mahershala.
Okay, cool.
Who else?
I don't know. I didn't hear it that well. Could have been any black guy.
That I
don't
knew
know.
immediately. I didn't know who Harry Styles was, but when I heard Mahershala Ali's voice, I said, "Oh, that's fucking Blade."
Didn't know who Harry Styles was, but you heard
I had
Mahershala
no idea who Harry
Ali's voice.
Styles was.
I could spot
Yes.
that voice from a mile away.
I mean, honestly, that's the way that Tej, I'm proud of you for that. That is how a black man your age should be living. That you can recognize Mahershala Ali before
that's
Harry
fair.
Styles.
That's fair. No, I am interested to see where they go with the Dane Whitman character. To wrap this up, I am interested to see what they go with that character. I'm interested to see how they kind of work that in, because he himself, just reading up on it, is the Black Knight. He himself doesn't have superpowers, but his sword is filled with all kinds of superpowers and stuff, and he's really good. Speaking of low level superheroes, dumbed down superheroes, this dude just has a really cool sword. So yeah,
I fuck with it.
so there's that, but they also
sword. He was hanging out with an Eternal, dating her for a long time. Apparently, this kid's got it.
I mean, yeah, he was He was having sex with an Eternal. Let's call a spade a spade.
The one that looked like Gemma Chan too. At that,
Yeah.
like this
Good for him.
kid's going places.
No, I think that'll be fine. All right. We got to wrap this up because we got Rock content to push out. Mr. The Rock. All right. So real quick, Tej, because I know that you're gonna have to be dealing with this for the rest of this is just consumed. You're gonna be up to like 4 a.m. dealing with all of this. How do you get yourself off into this shit, man? You got to get off it. You've had 3 different Twitter accounts. How do you keep?
I have no idea how this keeps happening. Oh. I hope people don't think I'm slandering The Rock. I love The Rock. I just don't want him to be president. That's not
Everyone loves The Rock. It's The Rock.
Mr. The Rock, we will play your music to end the podcast. All right, things that we have been watching right after this ad break from Apollo Houston. All right, Tej, what are some recommendations, some stuff that you've been watching, if at all? Definitely not Texas football.
I don't associate myself with Texas football, so I definitely would not recommend that. However, 3 things actually. One, we might do an episode about this, and maybe we won't. We don't know at this time. But The Harder They Fall is incredible content. I just watched it for the second time today. Really loved it. It's a Black Western. I love a Western. Obvious Tarantino homages, but that doesn't bother me because I love Tarantino, so it just works for me. Great score, great soundtrack, really cool film. I'm finally watching the Netflix Ted Bundy documentary that y'all watched like 2 or 3 years ago. The whole world watched it except for me. For whatever reason, I didn't get around to it.
The Ted Bundy tapes?
Yes, the Ted Bundy tapes one.
I haven't seen it.
For whatever reason, I did not get into it. It is fascinating. But I also love a documentary, especially anything dealing with crime or serial killers. And so I'm watching that. I'm loving that. And we might do an episode about this too. I recently rewatched the Rush Hour movies after I probably haven't seen these since middle school. And I was telling Royden and Dex, there's no way they're good. And Royden was specifically telling me, no, those movies are still good. And I said, there's just no way those movies are still good. And I'm here to tell you, those movies are still incredible content. You don't need to rewatch the third one, but those first 2 movies are still fucking hilarious. Chris Tucker was carrying the comedy of an entire film franchise on his back, and he was funny every time he spoke. Incredible content. Those movies still work. So revisit those movies because we're gonna do an episode on those soon. I hope.
What is it? Racism is never funny, but sometimes it's funny.
Yeah, racism is never funny, but sometimes it's really fucking funny.
That's what those movies are based on. No, I don't know why. I think I just was like, I was maybe like 5 drinks deep one night, and I was like, you know what's on HBO Max? Rush Hour and Rush Hour 2. I think Rush Hour 3 though. But as far as I'm concerned, Rush Hour 3 doesn't exist. Yeah. So I just watched them. I was like, wait, am I having a good time watching these movies still? Yep.
They're
absolutely
really good, man. Chris Tucker is so funny. Like every little situation that's happening in the movie, he makes it funny every time. And you just know that a lot of that stuff he's just doing on set. It's not like somebody wrote it down. He's just being funny. He's just like, I know the situation. I can just be funny in it. And it just makes for a fun ride, man. Love those. Those movies are still really good. I can't believe
the funniest thing is when they have fucking what's his face? Don Cheadle in there in like a kimono, like Asian get up.
Like a kung fu, yes.
Yeah. He's like, I'll shoot you, say you fell in the kitchen. Like that's just one of those bits. Oh God.
Don Cheadle, living legend. My goodness.
Love Don Cheadle.
Yeah. Damn. What was the thing? There's some greasy shit. How are you gonna sell somebody a box of grease? He's like, no soul food here. He's like, I don't soul food. It's just like it's racist in the funniest way possible.
When he goes into the first movie, when he goes into his cousin's spot, the little like it looks like they're doing illegal shit back there. He comes in, I'm gonna bust all y'all. He just kicks in the door. It's like his cousin. He's just like, sit your ass. The way he's just going crazy, man. Loved it. So I can't wait to talk about those on the podcast one day because those shits are still.
I think those are gonna come up soon. We also are gonna do Harder They Fall, like you mentioned. I watched about half of that movie. Tarantino influence is all over that thing, by the way.
Yes, it is.
I still haven't seen it yet, but I'm excited. It's like one of the few Netflix movies that this year that people have been like, it's actually good. So
yeah, Netflix has another Oscar contender out there too, another Western with Benedict Cumberbatch, I think that came out today as well.
Yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch looks like he's should be in a Western. So I'm excited to watch.
What is this shit called? That's the something dog. I don't remember, but
Power of the Dog.
Power of the Dog. Yeah,
I'm definitely gonna watch that.
No, wait.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, that's
Western.
it.
I'm in.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Dex, you are on your Oscar grind way ahead of schedule.
Yeah, speaking
I
of
love
the
it.
Oscar
I respect
grind,
it.
I am not ahead of schedule. This is the part of the game where it really gets fucking going. This is where legends are made right here, November and December. So I've been seeing pretty much all the shit that's come out that's like going to be in the Oscar races. So I went.
Some of that shit, Belfast isn't even in my fucking theaters here yet.
Yeah, I had to go see it at a fucking Cinemark. I'm usually an AMC guy, but I had to go to a Cinemark for the sake of the content. Saw Belfast. It is my favorite movie that I've seen so far this year. Obviously, there's a lot like still to come. We got another Spider-Man movie, all the other Oscar contenders, et cetera, et cetera.
We got the Batman, which is going to win Best Picture.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's next year, though. That's
next year.
This year?
Yeah,
that's
next
year. Okay.
They've pushed that shit back so many times.
So yeah, there's a lot of time left, even though it's the last like month and a half of the year. But so far this year, that Belfast is my favorite movie that I've seen. It's by Kenneth. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Branagh. It's Irish. And yeah, it's about him, and like it's semi-autobiographical. Obviously, parts of it are just like completely made up because you know you can't do a biopic about yourself when you're a child and like make it completely accurate. But basically, it's him and his family, and they go through the troubles in Northern Ireland, which was just like the Catholics and the Protestants having beef in the streets,
literally having war in the middle of like towns.
Yeah, in the middle of towns, just all the Catholics and the Protestants just on site. Just we fucking you up because you're either Catholic or Protestant, whatever it may be. But that movie is like it's really funny and heartwarming and inspiring because it's his story, obviously. Like, so some like good came out of it, he would want you to think. But they also like don't shy away from just how fucking awful that time period was.
Damn.
And like it's incredible. I recommend it to anybody. It's not like the other Oscar contenders that you like hear about where it's like 2.5 hours and like really boring and slow or whatever. This shit is 97 minutes, hour and a half. You're in, you're out. It's in black and white. Most of it, there are parts that are in color, but it's kind of a spoiler which parts are in color. And it's like just so well acted. Judi Dench is in there. You've got Jamie Dornan, who he hasn't been good in anything before, but he's good in this. You got the chicks from I think it's called Outlander or The Outland, something like that. One of those shows. Outlander. She's really good in it. And the kid who plays the lead, his name is Jude Hill. He's 11 years old now. He was 10 years old when they filmed it. Kid is fucking amazing in this movie. One of the best like lead child performances that I've seen in a long time. It's like Jude Hill in this movie, Roman Griffin Davis and Jojo Rabbit, and Julia Butters in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Those are the three best like kid performances that I've seen like in the past like several years. And I think that Jude Hill gave the best one in this movie. So go see Belfast if you can, or wait for it to drop on whatever streaming service it eventually drops on. You're gonna see it as a Best Picture nominee. Watch that shit. It's amazing. Read my review on apollohau.com if you haven't yet.
Definitely read that.
You also saw Spencer, right?
I also saw Spencer, Kristen Stewart putting up numbers. The movie itself is like kind of slow and boring, like Oscar contenders that you like hear about. So if you're not into that, then don't see it. But Kristen Stewart's performance is fucking amazing, and the movie is worthwhile if you do enjoy like a slow Oscar-y like thing.
Think Twilight catches a nom? You think she like somehow does it?
She might win, bro.
Like, oh well.
Yeah, she's been like in the lead like for most of the it's been like her and Gaga, like as the two front runners so far. So we'll see what happens when.
Wait, is House of
What's
Gucci
Gaga
good?
front runner for? House of Gucci isn't out yet.
It's not out yet, but like all the people who've like seen it in like festivals and shit are like, oh yeah, Gaga, she's fucking amazing.
Ready. I am fucking ready.
Ain't no way that movie's good. That movie does.
What do you
good.
mean?
That movie doesn't look good to me at all.
It's directed by Ridley Scott.
These words.
It's got Adam Driver.
Oh, hey, let's
Lady
not say
Gaga.
that. Let's not say that Ridley Scott. Let's not say that Ridley Scott is above reproach now.
He's not above reproach.
He has made some fucking stinkers over the past couple of decades.
The story of the Gucci family, plus Ridley Scott, plus Adam Driver, Lady Gaga, Al Pacino, Jared Leto, like they can't miss. It's not possible.
Jared Leto looks like a fucking weirdo in this movie.
That's just what Jared Leto looks like. He looks.
That's just Jared Leto. They didn't even tell him to do that. He just did that. Like he just walked on set like that. He just does it.
Yeah, they could have just hired another actor, like another fat old actor, but they're like, yeah, Jared Leto can do it. What? Jared Leto's like a handsome dude. Like, why did he do that to himself?
I can't believe you
award
think that this
winner
is going
Jared
to be
Leto to you.
I can't believe you think this is going to be a brick. The trailer has me absolutely ready. I
don't
cannot fucking wait for House of Gucci.
I'm not seeing it, man.
I
don't
have been.
know.
Yes, you are, because we're doing a podcast about it. You are definitely seeing that.
I mean, yeah.
I have been like hype for this movie ever since they fucking announced that Gaga and Adam Driver were in a movie together. I am hype.
It's going to be incredible content. I cannot wait.
Let's see. The Ridley Scott has a weird like past couple of decades.
Did he not do The Last Duel? Who did The Last
Duel?
Duel?
It was dope.
He does like these huge epic sort of.
How is he putting out 2 movies
period?
In a year?
I mean, that one was delayed.
Oh.
Or maybe House of Gucci was done and was delayed. They had to film some of the last.
Delayed.
They have to film some of the Last Duel during COVID or finish it during COVID.
I haven't seen The Last Duel yet, but it has one of my favorite new actresses in it. So
like he does these huge,
really good,
epic sort of like pieces, but then he'll do like this weird, like all the Money movie with Redacted in it that they had to replace like and reshoot the entire. And reshoot the entire movie. So he does like these weird like prior history stuff, like too, these weird period pieces. But he also
he did Alien and he did Blade Runner, but he also did Prometheus. So the man contains multitudes.
Yeah, guess so. I haven't seen a ton of movies lately. I've only seen really the movies that we are watching for the podcast. I have watched a ton of series though, because that's what you do when you get married is you watch shows together. So we watched something that had come out. It came out during the middle of COVID, but it really didn't start catching more hype until recently. And the guy that did Hunting on Hill House, he did a show recently called I had it on the top of my head and I am missing it now. Somebody is screaming at me.
I'm not, because I have no idea what you're talking about.
Monster Hunting of Hill House. So
Mike Flanagan is the guy who made it. He's kind of come into his own as one of the better horror people. It's called Midnight Mass.
That I have heard of.
Yeah, it's called Midnight Mass. It stars Matt Saracen basically. He's in it. It is not bad, but it is way. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. It's very heady things. I won't like ruin it for you if you haven't seen it, but it's really like it's a horror series. So it's a lot of talking and a lot of kind of mystery and a real slow burn, but you can kind of see the twist from a mile away. It doesn't ruin the twist, but it's based on this young pastor that comes to this kind of almost deserted island town on like off the coast of New England or something like that. And it's just weird and unsettling the entire time. And it's had like weighs on the themes of religion and what that means and everything. But then, it's a tough hang, but it is really, really interesting. And he's made a couple of these series now that are really good. I also, lighter than that, I have watched Only Murders in the Building, the Selena Gomez.
Oh, the Hulu one.
Hulu show.
Fire? Not Fire.
Fire. I really liked it. It is such an easy watch. It's so you need some of those shows that are just like a palate cleanser stuff, and it deals with some like heavies. It deals with literal like murder, but it's like funny, haha, like how Clue, like Steve Martin continues to be great, and and Selena Gomez is fine. She actually produced the show. It's really funny and kind of light and fun. It's maybe 10 episodes. Sometimes that's like too much, actually, probably too much for this show because I kind of stretched it a little bit. But yeah, watch it. You can get through it in like 2 days, to be honest with you.
Bet.
And then it's really good. Guy has like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. And then I also on Hulu started watching Dope Sick. I haven't finished that yet because it's heavy. That's about the opioid epidemic and the start of the opioid crisis. And then also just started on Hulu. I've been on a Hulu grind. I don't know why, but just started the Great, which is written and directed and produced by the person who made The Favorite. Not Yorgos Lanthimos, the person who wrote The Favorite.
Yorgos Lanthimos. Yeah, but the writer, not the guy.
Yeah, but yeah. So The Great, it stars Elle Fanning, the younger Fanning, actually, who actually may be better than her sister at this point. Nicholas Hoult.
Does her sister still work?
Yeah, she does. Not as much as she made all her money real young and was just like, you know what? I'm gonna take a break. Yeah. Let's see. So yeah, Elle Fanning, she's also a producer on the show. Nicholas Hoult is incredibly fucking funny. He was also in The Favorite as well. But yeah, it's about the first empress of Russia to ever become like run the country and like start a coup against her husband. And it's really, really funny and really well done with gender roles and just black comedy, man. It's so fucking funny. I would check it out. Siege, if you love The Favorite as much as you do, I think you would be.
I'm definitely gonna have to check this out because The Favorite is one of my favorite movies of the last like 5 years.
Roden, before we go, I gotta ask you: have you ever seen Insecure?
No, I have not.
You got to get on that because eventually we're gonna do an Insecure episode, and I need you to be prepared.
And there like 3 seasons now.
That sounds like a great idea. There's 5 seasons now.
Oh fuck!
It's a quick watch. You'll get through it. Trust me.
It's a really easy watch, actually.
Yeah. Go ahead and start now on HBO Max because this is the final season, and when it's done,
we also need to do a Succession episode because Succession is literally giving us perfect television. They're in their 3rd season. If you haven't watched Succession, this season has been phenomenal so far.
If you're not
watching Succession, you are making massive mistakes.
I started the first episode of Succession when the pandemic kind of hit and we were all stuck at home, and I was like, everybody's been talking about this show, and I think season 2 had just dropped, so I was like, oh, I can binge this show. And wait, are they on season 3?
They started season 3 a couple weeks ago.
So I season 2 had just dropped like during the pandemic, and I was like, all right, I'm going to watch this. And then they immediately come on and they're all the worst. They're all the worst people.
They're awful.
And so I was just like, you know what? I'm not in the right headspace to continue watching this show. Like, I'm not, I just can't do it either. But my dad, who doesn't watch anything like that, I gave him my HBO password and he's like, hey, have you seen this show, Succession? I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I've watched all of it. I was like, Jesus Christ.
It's good. It's definitely easily the best written show on TV. The dialogue is perfect every week. It's just, I can't get enough of it. After we are done recording, I'm going to go watch the new episode. I cannot wait.
I will, Pete. But Royden, you got to start Insecure. Be ready by the end of the season because we're doing an Insecure episode. And if you can't be on it, well, you're out of here. But
there's gonna be a black takeover of the one take.
I was gonna say, am I too like white to be on that episode?
Hey, there are white people at the beginning of the show. There are none left, but
we're gonna have Royden just end the Zoom chat, but just muted the whole time for the symbolism of that.
Yeah, just muted the entire time. Hey, I have an opinion. Shut the fuck up. No, I think I do need to watch that. It's like one of those ones. Just some of those shows. HBO puts out so much good content most of the time that like
Love them.
Man,
You can't watch it all.
Oh, you cannot watch
So
it all.
much.
Literally can't.
And then I'll end up watching the one thing that like is just mediocre on there and watch the entire thing. Like, yeah, like I haven't seen all of Curb. You know what I mean? Like, just one of those things.
Oh, speaking of HBO Max, also the show Love Life. Season 1 was about Anna Kendrick, but it's an anthology series. So
Season 2 is about Chidi.
now season 2 is about Chidi. William Jackson Harper. He's here, and it's really good so far.
Everybody's talking about this show. I guess I need to get into it. Everyone's talking about it.
Yeah, I like season 1, but season 2 so far, I just like so much more. I guess it's because it's like more relatable to me because Chidi's in it, and I feel like Chidi.
I do like Chidi.
I don't get nearly as many women as Chidi does, but it's incredible.
William Jackson Harper is just a good-looking dude, man.
Yeah, his character in this show is just the coolest loser you'll ever meet in your fucking life. Like he's just perfectly rides that line between like a dweeb who gets nothing in life and also is completely winning.
It's hard to like when you know what he like has like a six pack and stuff. Like it's hard to like for me to feel sympathy for that.
Oh yeah, they do not shy away from this at all. They
He has
leave
great
it.
taste in projects because he's in Midsommar, which is the greatest movie of all time. So I always support. This is Chidi Hive over here.
Chidi Hive. Watch Love Life season 2. You can watch season 1 if you want, or you can skip it. Doesn't matter. It's an anthology.
All right, real quick, what's something coming out that we need to kind of key in on that you think? I mean, obviously in December,
House
Spider-Man.
of Gucci.
House of Gucci. Support Lady Gaga. Also, King Richard's coming out.
Oh,
gotta
yes,
see it.
right.
I will see that. Will Smith, you better give me a banger, please. I'm begging, bro.
This is it for Will Smith. If he doesn't
I
get his
can't
Oscar
stand
this
up
time,
and
he's gonna
defend
die
another Will
without it.
Smith project that stinks, bro. This
Has
is
a
the last
91%.
time- This is the last chance he has to get that Oscar. He needs to deliver. I hope that he gets it. We'll see.
He won't win, but he will be nominated.
Ugh. If this movie stinks, I'm gonna be very upset.
That's it. His and like Gosling's lot in life. Let's see.
He's got a chance this time. We'll see
Yeah.
how it shakes out because he is on his campaign grind. He is going for it.
He is everywhere.
God.
Man. Oh my god.
Oh my
He's doing
god!
so many interviews. He's going for it.
It's like making YouTube mini movies and shit like that. Like
This man
He
dropped a
is-
book.
He's going to campaign his ass off for this.
he dropped a
award, I will
book
tell you
about
that
how
much.
Jada doesn't like him anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also, he's
no
Will
one's-
Smith. So when he shows up at all these like critics parties and awards, like these small award show, everyone's gonna be like, "Holy shit, it's Will fucking Smith! I love him." And they're gonna.
We're about to
vote
be
for him
seeing
for
a
an
lot of
Oscar.
Will Smith content because he's about to show up to everything he gets invited to for the next 6 months. You're going to see him everywhere.
Ghostbusters comes out soon. That's getting okay reviews. Well, we love some Paul Rudd, sexiest man alive, Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a blockbuster. I'll go see it for sure.
I thought naming Paul Rudd the sexiest man alive was going to be a lot more controversial. I'm not gonna lie to you.
People love
Same.
Paul Rudd.
But I feel
I know
like they
people love
always.
Paul Rudd, but I thought it would be much more controversial. I didn't really see controversy. As soon as I saw the headline, I was like, oh, people aren't gonna like this. But
I mean,
people
it's
were fine with it.
much less when you are starting from the bar of like they picked Blake Shelton one year.
Right.
Paul Rudd, very reasonable choice considering.
I mean, the dude's like 50. Like, if I could look like that when I'm gonna look terrible. But like if I could look like that when I was 50, like, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I'm just kind of looking at stuff that may be coming out. Did anybody know there was an Arthur Ashe movie coming out?
Oh,
Yes.
plans.
What? Okay. Anyway.
Like in theaters or like
Oh, West Side Story also with redacted.
it's gonna be fire. Allegedly redacted. Let's be clear.
I'll let you die on that hill. Oh, and then the Kingsman. They keep showing fucking.
That shit was supposed to come out a year ago, but
I need to see this because I didn't even see the second Kingsman.
I don't think it matters.
Oh,
yeah, this one's a prequel.
maybe I'll check this out. Maybe I'll check this out.
But yeah, on West Side Story, a guy that I was in a wedding with. He's not one of my friends, but we were groomsmen in a wedding, and he did the costumes for West Side Story. He's a costume designer.
Wow.
He has a Tony and shit. He did the costumes for Hamilton. He's that fucking guy. So I just really want.
Wait, how are you rubbing elbows with this dude?
Yeah, he is
Dex
the
knows people in high places.
he's the uncle of this guy who I was like a groomsman for in a wedding. Shout out
That's
to
always
Jordan.
funny when you meet somebody so successful doing the same shit that you're doing. You're just
Yeah.
like, hi, I'm in marketing.
Yeah, we're in the fucking middle of nowhere, like an hour out, like an hour north of Houston, like on this fucking farm, just chatting it up, being groomsmen in this wedding. And like we all knew who he was, obviously. So we're like, so where do you keep your Tony? Like in your house? Like, is it like right? Is it like right when you walk in the door, or is it like a subtle flex? Like what's it like having a Tony? Like where do you put that shit? You're just like, oh yeah, I mean, I just kind of put it with the other awards, and we're like, what?
The other awards.
The
The other awards.
Who was it? Kate Winslet said that she keeps it in her bathroom because so people can like look in the mirror with her Oscar and like give a acceptance speech and stuff.
I would definitely do that if I had an award of any
Significant, yeah.
any significance. I'm putting that shit in the bathroom so everyone can go see that shit.
Also, a movie that we're gonna, and I swear we'll wrap up, but a movie that we're gonna have to do a review on is the American Underdog, the Kurt Warner story.
Oh god.
Oh no. I am excited for the Halle Berry MMA movie though.
Bruce.
That
Yeah.
Bruce, I'm excited for this. I love Halle Berry.
I want us to see that movie just for how simply terrible it looks.
Oh my god, I cannot fucking
Looks so bad. If you haven't seen the commercials for American Underdog, the Kurt Warner story,
I can't believe they
Just
made a
go-
movie
go-
about
go-
Kurt
go have
Warner.
fun.
I cannot believe that they made a movie.
Oh, I
about
can.
Kurt Warner.
I
I
can.
can't believe that.
I can't believe they did it while Kurt Warner is just like a man that's on TV now. Like,
Yeah, just like a 50-year-old on TV.
yeah, just let him die first and then make the movie so it's not as weird. Like I don't know. If I go see a Kurt Warner movie and then I turn on my TV on Sunday and Kurt Warner's talking to me about football, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck? Like this is like,
I just watched a movie about this guy.
Yeah.
He's still alive.
I don't want that.
The
Also, this movie
uniforms
looks
were-
like it was made for substitute teachers to show like in schools.
Yeah.
Like they
Ah.
had that shit in mind. They were like, that's gonna be our market. We're gonna sell tons of DVDs to schools because like, this is a DVD card banger.
take the place of
Invincible.
remember the Titans in Southern schools because that's too progressive. All right. That has been a One Take podcast. You can find us at One Take Pod on Twitter. You can go follow at @les_humble Teej and his rock takes. You can follow Dex Ain't Dead, and you can follow at Roy Ogletree. I don't even know how to end this podcast because you just had like the Rock subtweet you. So I don't know where we go from. We've kind of been rambling. Like we came down a lot after that happened. So I don't even know how to end this. Yeah, go follow all that account. Dex, who are we supporting?
Hashtag support Florence Pugh. Also, go to ApolloHOU.com and just buy dope merch and shit. You can use promo code OneTakePod, ONETAKEPOD. And you can also read my movie reviews. Eventually, Royden will be writing movie reviews on there too. Just go to the website. There's cool shit just happening.
Yeah. So with all that, it's about drive. It's about power. It's